All right, good morning. I went live a little bit early because I didn't know what this YouTube was going to do. So I'm still kind of setting up, but it's okay because I really didn't know what this YouTube was going to do. And I was scared. So I was like, you know what? We're going to go in a minute early and go ahead and do what we're going to do. So, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Carol, my YouTubers. Because I was like, oh no, what is going on? So I'm still setting up here, but you're on. So I was really concerned about that. Let me see here. So good morning. Good morning, sister. Let me tell you, yesterday was a hot mess. So I've been on here for a few minutes because I was like, OMG, this thing is not going to go live and I'm going to be very upset. So I came on a few minutes early so I can be live. All right, let me see. And it's a go. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So, good morning, everybody. How is everybody? Happy Thursday. Remember, I told y'all today on Thursday we were gonna get into some uh uh particular we were gonna get into a particular topic today. Today is Thursday. You thought it, I said it. So I had a viewer send me in it was like a little quote, I guess. That's what it was. And what the quote said was, young people, don't let your grown boundaries cut off the wisdom of the elders. If you're not teachable, you can't grow. And they sent me that. And I started thinking and I said, you know what? Because that is true. That is a factual statement. That is a factual statement. And so we're going to get into that today. Okay. Yes, my t-shirt today is Jesus coffee. Look at the period though. Jesus period, coffee period, therapy period, repeat period. And that's what we're going to be doing. Okay. That's me all day long. All right. Jesus period, coffee period, therapy period, repeat. And there's nothing wrong with therapy. I just want folks to know it's okay to get some therapy. It's okay to lay on some people's couch and in chairs. And these days you can Zoom your therapist. It is perfectly fine. Let me tell you, for all those things. Okay. It is definitely perfectly fine for all of those things. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of therapy. All right. I recommend it across the board. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Yes, yes, yes. So, um, it's a lot going on in the news too. I just want to let y'all know. It's a lot going on in the news. Praying for those families at the high school in Georgia. I think it was Appalachian or Appalachia. Praying for those families there. Still praying with all families and children. And, it is a dangerous, 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 scary world we live in. It is very scary. And even when we were going to school, I would say when I was in school, there were, you know, classmates who passed away at a young age, when I was in school. Good morning. Good morning. And so it's definitely more, I don't know how to say it, more people are doing more now, but certainly we had in my growing up, and I'm 45. So in my growing up in high school, we certainly had um, classmates who lost their lives, and it wasn't from an illness. It wasn't from some disease or anything like that or getting sick. It was they were killed. And so when I looked at that yesterday and that came across, one of my high school classmates that I graduated with said mark themselves safe because they're in Atlanta, and he is in the teaching realm, the administrative realm, and everything. So he was marked himself safe, but praying for those families because that is a very, it's just tragic. It's tragic. It's sad and it's scary. And then when you have children, grandchildren, you think about all of that. You'd be like, you think about it all. So definitely thinking about that this morning. So I wanted to put that out there. So welcome to Coffee and Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Conversations with Carol. Where every day at 8:30 I come to you with some thought-provoking engagement, right? So today is Thursday. You thought it, I said it. And we're going to talk about this, what I received. It says, young people, don't let your I'm grown boundaries cut off the wisdom of the elders. If you're not teachable, you can't grow. So here's the thing about this statement. It's a true statement. And I have a but it's not about the statement. It's about what wisdom really is. What wisdom really is and what young people should understand. And I think that's where the problem comes in. Because you have some people who are considered elders who ain't giving out wisdom. They're not. And so when you think about these young people, some of them they don't. I'm just being honest. They don't have a strong enough circle, I'll put it that way, or with somebody in their ear that is giving out, I'll put it this way, correct wisdom. A lot of young people don't. And so you get these young people who, I'm grown. You can't tell me nothing. I'm an adult. I make my own choices. They all of that until they make the wrong choice and end up somewhere they don't want to end up. And then now they're backtracking, trying to figure out what can they do. Now, here's the thing. You got all categories of young people. You got a category of people who gonna backtrack. I was wrong. I need some help. Help me. You got some out there, baby, who ego is bigger than the United States of America, honey. They ego so big, they're not gonna backtrack. They'll stay out there and suffer. They can be broke, hungry, homeless. Sometimes them egos are so big, they're not gonna backtrack. They're not gonna backtrack. They're not gonna say anything. They're not going to say anything. And then you have some who just lost in the wind. You'll just have to see them and be like, what is going on with you? What are you doing? So with this statement, young people, don't let your I'm grown boundaries cut off the wisdom of the elders. If you're not teachable, you can't grow. That's for the ones that has a little listening ear, has that little, that little part that they listen with. That's what I say. What say you? I want to hear your opinion because you have some that, I'm grown, you can't tell me nothing, baby, and they in the wind. You can't tell them nothing. They gone doing whatever they want to do. You can't tell them nothing. Then you have some that you repeatedly have to keep. Good morning. Then you have some that you have to keep teaching. You have some that you have to. Good morning, Jocelyn. You have to keep teaching. You have to, good morning, Toya. You have to keep teaching them. So what say you? Because some of these young people, they different. I don't know what water they drinking. What say you? That's what I say. What say you? So good morning, sister. Today's topic is young people, don't let your I'm grown boundaries cut off the wisdom of the elders. If you're not teachable, you can't grow. Must be talking these raggedy kids. So So you have, here's the thing. I said, you got some who got a little listening ear. You got some, not all, but you got some. And then you have some who's going to do it anyway. They're going to go out, choose what they want to do, say what they want to say. They ain't thinking about you. And then they're going to backtrack. Then you have some who's going to go out and, honey, their ego, like I said, is bigger than the United States. They don't care. They ain't going to backtrack. They'll stay out there homeless and hungry and everything. They ain't backtracking because they grown. Some of them do not have elders that are encouraging and increasing. Some increasing. Some have the belittling and berating. So those that can't put up on wisdom, it's been embedded in them. It's sad. Yeah, I agree with that. Some don't have. Sister Cachette said, some of them do not have elders that are encouraging and increasing. Some have the belittling and berating. So those that can't put up on wisdom, so those that can't pick up on wisdom, it's being embedded in them, and it's sad. And that's the thing. You have some that don't, and I totally agree there. Janine says, I know young adults on both ends. My niece boy, I just hope she finds her way. She said she knows some on both ends. Her niece, she hopes she finds her way. That's what Sister Janine said. And I do know some on both ends too, Sister Janine. Sister Jocelyn said, this is a true statement. My son is definitely learning the hard way right now. He has no filter and now has no job because he thinks his opinion and point of view is law. Sister Jocelyn, you are so right. And I know people on both sides. I know a child right now, personally. Let me not throw no names out, but personally. And when I say person, whose adult in their life that they have in their life is not giving them good advice. I can tell you hands down. Feeding them toxicity and what I said yesterday, that statement yesterday that I said, which was people are listening. You got these young folks who are listening with their trigger ears. Everything's a trigger. Everything is a trigger. Everything is a trigger. Trigger. You triggered me. That's a trigger for me. That's a trigger for me. They go on. Everything's a trigger. And you got them. And if you got somebody in your adult life who's feeding that, everything you say it's just, honey. And those ones with that mouth who think their word is law, work with someone like that. You can't always backtalk. You can't. Yes, you have to be careful who we have children with. Yes, you look here. We didn't have them. Sister Toya. We didn't have the children now. So you got to teach the young people who to have the children with, because we didn't have them now. You see what I'm saying? So now the children are here. The children are here, and we have to. They here. I don't even know what to say about it, because you got to navigate through it. Pray about it. Jesus, therapy, some coffee, and repeat. Because you didn't have them, and that's how it is. I totally agree. That's why I said, for me personally, what are you gonna do? Here's the thing. For me, I'm gonna get to you, Sister Cachette. For me, I have already did what I'm gonna put in them. So hopefully some of that take hold and they produce some of it. Because who you have them with is who you have them with. I tell mine all the time, that's y'all daddy. And mine, that ain't mine. So you gotta build that relationship. You gotta know what a person is saying to you. You as you get older, you gotta balance that out. Now, if I come to you as a mom with some crap, it's crap. Even as a young adult, or you You have to be democratic. And so you may have an opinion. Doesn't mean I have to go with your opinion, but we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about it. I think all angles have to be hit there. Sister Kashette said, as much as I agree that everything is a trigger, I think that word is used very loosely. I had to tell my own child, well, if that's the case, you are my trigger. I fed it back. Honey, that's the truth there. That's the truth. Everything a trigger for these. I'm telling you, I seen it. Trigger, trigger, trigger. And Sister Latoya said, sometimes the other parent give the most fucked up advice. Here's the thing. That's true. You have some parents who do. You have some parents who feed into, and I guess that would pivot to another question then, right? Because why do you have that? If we have the children, the young people saying, and I don't want to call them children because, well, they are our children if you got children, but some of them are young adults. So if you have them saying, I'm grown, you can't tell me nothing. Why is it that you have some parents, especially when they're not, when they're not together, whether divorced, broke up, never married, whatever the case may be, why do you have some parents who cannot get on the same page? You know, we can pivot that into another. I totally agree with that, Sister Toya. Why do you have that? I'm just talking about what I'm talking about. Because when you think about this statement, you do have some parents who do give messed up advice. Jealousy? Sister Janine said jealousy. Of what though? We have a whole child. What are we jealous about? What are we jealous about? Good morning. What are we jealous about? Because if we got a child together. We're going to, whether we're together or not, this child has to be raised. And so at some point, okay, Sister Jocelyn said, we're in the brush season. Oh, the brush session. They don't think it's a level of disrespect because everyone says it. Oh, we're in the brush session. And she's responding to Sister Kashette where she said that people are using that word trigger very loosely. You know, so they don't think it's a level of disrespect because everyone says it. Good morning, Mama Tony. Good morning. Well, the way you grew up, how you I hate this little thing be blocking my words. How you are in life, someone's positive demeanor. The way you grew up, how you are in life, someone's positive demeanor. I believe that it's someone's positive demeanor, but she was saying that some parents give fucked up advice. And they do. But I thought about, even when the parents are giving advice, why would you give them some effed up advice about, if I was a child and I came to my parent or my dad or my mom, whichever one, and my dad said some messed up stuff about my mom, or my mom said some messed up stuff about my dad. Like, that's crazy. They should be on the same page. I meant season. You were right. Laugh out loud. Oh, okay. So I'm just, because you should be on the same page. We should be giving sound advice. Sound. And when you say sound, when you hear sound, it's something that we can hear and use. Sometimes because they didn't get good advice, so they won't. I mean, if they didn't get good advice, Sister Janine, that's fine too. But I think it's deeper than that, because you don't have some, when you go back to what you said about, the way you grew up, some people didn't. But that doesn't mean you have to give bad advice to you at some point you do know the difference, right? Or am I thinking wrong? At some point you do know the difference. Oh, she said, yes, I agree. You agree with, at some point you know the difference? Because at some point you got to know the difference. Even if it's embedded in us, like Sister Kashette was saying, even if it's embedded in us, even if you hear it all the time. At some point, don't you know the difference? So Sister Toya says sometimes they don't know the difference. Mm. Then that's sad. Now, Sister Jocelyn said, yes, we do know the difference. I'm saying as the young people. So, yes, but those individuals have to want to be better mindset. I'll agree there. I'll agree there. They have to have the better mindset. So, that goes back to, we are what we eat. And I'm just telling you, it's a whole lot of plates out here of I'm grown, boundaries, I'm grown, can't tell me nothing. They got a whole lot of plates out there. They need to switch that out with a bowl of I'm listening, I need some help, guide me. They know after we correct them, not when they in the middle. I be so dang baffled at the advice. Yeah. So they know so Sister Joshua said they know after we correct them, not when they in the middle. Okay. And Sister Latoya said I'd be so dang baffled at the advice. It some of the advice is just terrible. Some of the advice that is given is bad. And so I would just say for the young people, they have to remember, yes, they are grown. We talked about a week ago about how you, as a parent, you go from parenting, do what I'm telling you to do, to more of a guidance. You're guiding them through, in their adulthood. But they have to want to be guided, that mindset, and they have to want to listen to some, again, sound advice, things that's not so off the wall. Because in the real world, people are not going to placate to you like that. So whether it's a older person, your parent, a mom or dad, or whether it's an uncle or aunt, a grandma, if they're not giving good advice, you gonna find out, because the world is not, they don't know you. They ain't gonna be like, oh, so here, we got to do this. They ain't gonna be doing that. So at some point, you're gonna figure out that some of that advice ain't working. Sister Janine said, as far as the young people, as they grow, they can filter through the bad advice. I left the response to Toya's original and said that some parents don't care if you bang your head or not, and some parents want to advise and guide. Yeah. Yep. Some people don't care if you bang your head. Some parents don't. Which is, to a certain extent, they should bang their heads, because if you ain't listening, that's what's going to happen. You're going to bang your head. But to a certain extent, they have to learn too. And we've banged our head. I've banged my head many a times, not listening to sound advice. I had a young person tell me, just because you're older doesn't mean you've been through it better than I have. I said, okay. And yeah, Sister Pooh said, I had a young person tell me, just because you're older doesn't mean you've been through it better than I have. I said, okay. And here's the thing. I may have not experienced, and my response would have been, I may have not experienced what you experienced. However, I've experienced some things. And so with that being said, okay, because at the end of the day, there are going to be consequences behind choices. And there's going to be consequences behind reactions. And for every action, there's a reaction. And for every reaction, there's a consequence. And I tell mine that all day long. So I may have not went through what you went through. I may have not experienced what you experienced. But I can tell you that the world goes round. And for every action, there's a reaction. And for every reaction, there is a consequence for it. So that being said, young people, don't let your I'm grown boundaries cut off the wisdom of the elders. If you're not teachable, you can't grow. So it's going to be some that's not going to be able to grow if they're going to cut it off. Sister Toya said, or just say, I haven't experienced that because I didn't go that route. Yeah, I ain't experienced because I ain't go that route. But here's the thing about experience. That is wisdom. That is wisdom. Wisdom is experience, because when you've experienced it, you made that choice, or you did what you did. And so on the other side, there was a lesson learned. I have a T-shirt and a quote from Nelson Mandela that says this: I never lose. I either win or I learn. I never lose. I either win or I learn. And so that is something that they need to learn. Because every experience is a lesson learned. It is. So you either gonna win it or you learn. That's one of my T-shirts I have. You either, and that's, hey, I never lose. I either win or I learn. But all that taking L's, I don't even know what that is, because I never lose. I never lose. I either win or I learn. So there go my L. I'm learning, because I'm definitely not losing. All right. So thank you all for joining me today. Very, very good topic. I thank you. You thought it. I'm just saying it on Thursday. Young people, don't let your grown boundaries cut off the wisdom of the elders. If you're not teachable, you can't grow. And we all need to have a listening ear so that we can grow. All right. And that's your affirmation for today. You don't lose. You either win or you learn. All right. All right. I want you guys to live, love, never ever stop laughing. Always find room for forgiveness, because that's a growth within itself. And I want you guys to remember there's one love across the board. All right. All right. My shirt says Jesus. I had some of him this morning with prayer. I'm going to give me some coffee. I might call my therapist, and everything's going to always be on repeat for your girl, Carol. All right. Thank you for your prayers. My brother, they had to admit. And so that was kind of hard on me yesterday, watching that. But it's different being a caregiver for your family. It really is. But we're still moving forward. He's a fighter. So we're gonna keep pushing him forward. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.